Brand new street and brand new me. Side by side, by friends I need. Don't you tell me that you're in town, I already know. Couple days ago. Hey, now that our names are written in stone, let's be honest, sounds like home. Still I'm here alone and I'm calling your phone. I wish I could wipe my own memory out. I wish I could dream about somebody else. I wish I could talk when the silence so loud. I wish, oh.
So hey everybody, it's Mickey, and in today's video I am sharing with you 4 easy steps to help you plan your meals, feed your family, and make life a whole lot easier. What to make for dinner every night is the greatest question of our time, and there are some really simple steps to make diverse and delicious meals to encourage your family to gather around the table every night. So if you are new here, I hope you'll take a minute to subscribe. I put out new videos every week about all things home. Meal planning has always been one of those things that can make or break my week. Some of you already have kids back in school for the new year, and there are such busy days ahead. Doing some meal planning at the beginning of your week, taking inventory on what you have on hand, and grocery shopping for the things that you need can only make your week easier. A good meal and time spent around the table goes a long way to solve life's little problems. So in today's video, I'm going to show you the 4 steps that I take to ensure a week filled with good food. The first thing that I do before I even make my list for what I think I want to make is I check my refrigerator. This is where all of our perishables live, and these are the items that you want to use up first because their shelf life is just shorter than everything else. I like to take a very quick inventory of what I have on hand, so I know as I'm gathering my recipes and things that I want to make for next week, I will know what I have on hand and the things that I just don't need to buy. So let's take a quick peek into our drawers here. This is where the majority of my veggies live. As you can see, I have a couple white onions in here. I have a red onion. I have some green peppers. I also have some different kinds of carrots here. The little baby carrots I eat almost every day at lunchtime. I also have some shredded carrots here that I like to use for salads and things throughout the week. I also have some celery. In my next drawer here is where I have the majority of the fruit that I keep in the refrigerator. We just went to Costco last week, so I have a bunch of pears and some clementines. I have some limes, and in the back there I also have some strawberries, which are probably the first thing that I want to use up. I always like to use these in like overnight oats and also in any cereals. I like to make muffins pretty much every week or every other week. So since I have almost a full package there, I'll probably be putting them into some muffins. I have 2 containers here that I usually use for things that I am saving for meals. They'll either hold, you know, some chicken if I have that to make for a recipe, or ground meat. And right now what I have in here is I have some zucchini and green peppers, and I also have some potatoes. So these are the things that I'm going to want to use up in my meals next week. These will be some of the first veggies that I use up for my recipes. I've been wishing for mashed potatoes, so I'm sure I'm going to be using these for mashed potatoes during the week. And zucchini is one of my most favorite vegetables. I really like to roast them. I like to saute them. I also like to put them in my spaghetti sauce, so I'm sure I will be using them up pretty quickly. I also have some fresh spinach here along with a head of iceberg lettuce. I have a pretty good stock of vegetables in my refrigerator. I have almost a full half gallon of milk here. I still have my cranberry juice here, that's pretty full. I have a couple of my sour creams, and here I have some leftovers throughout the week that I'm going to be using up for some lunches. You always want to check and make sure that you have those staple items that you have in your refrigerator and the things that your family uses the most. So I always like to make sure I have at least a dozen eggs in my refrigerator, at least the majority of a half gallon of milk. I also like to make sure I have a little bit of butter on hand because I do like to bake a lot during the week. And a big one for us would be some like Romano cheese, some different sauces to cook with, like barbecue sauce and ketchup back there, and also, of course, some ranch dressing. So taking a quick look in our freezer here, so your proteins are going to be the most expensive thing on your grocery list. So it's a good idea to take a look at what you have and what you want to use up that week. So in my freezer, I have some ground bison, I have some ground turkey, I also have a couple steaks there that we got early on in the summer that we're going to want to use up. So I'll probably make, you know, a couple of those out on the grill when my husband comes home. I always like to have some Boboli pizza shells in my freezer for some quick meals. And I also like to have some gnocchis or raviolis. I also have some frozen fruit and some frozen veggies to round out our meals. Over the last couple kitchen videos, you guys have become very familiar with my food storage room. So before I make my list, I really like to check and see what I have on hand, if there's any of these staples that I need to add to my list, and I can get a pretty good visual as to what I have. So when I look up some recipes, I can very easily decide if I need to buy it or if I already have it, you know, in my storage room. I want to add to my grocery list anything that I saw last week that I was running low on, and any of those staples that I like to have a backup of in my pantry. This is also the time that I like to rotate my stock a little bit. I always have a pretty good idea of what items are getting close to expiring, so I like to make sure that I am putting all my new purchases in the back and moving my older things up front so that I can use them up in the next couple weeks. I also take some time to go through my smaller pantry upstairs in my kitchen to be sure that I have what I need for the week, like cereal, pasta, rice, and bread. Finding recipes is my favorite part of meal prep, and to do that I come to my cabinet here in the hallway. This is where I have stored my family binders, my recipe binders, and the majority of my cookbooks. This is where I also keep my seasonal magazines. My favorite magazines, of course, come out in the fall and at Christmas time. And when I get a really good one, like I have a bunch of Paula Deen magazines in here, and I have some really good different holiday magazines and books up here. I like to hold on to them because before any holiday, I just go through them all and I recreate my menus. I'm very traditional with the menus that I do for holidays, but I like to kind of punch them up a little bit with special recipes. And this is where I keep some of my most treasured recipes. This little green recipe box right here was my mom's. This was in our kitchen. The whole time growing up, she has this just full of different recipes. My mom was really an interesting recipe keeper. All she would do would be a list of ingredients. No instructions, no amounts, just a list of ingredients. But I have to be honest with you, as I took the time to go through these, I was able to recreate some of my mom's favorite and best meals. Below it is one of those parish cookbooks from the parish where I grew up in. It's really old. It's from like the 70s, and it has some great recipes from friends and neighbors that I grew up with. And then this cookbook right here is my mom's first cookbook that she got at her bridal shower in 1958. And these three things right here are so precious to me and give me inspiration to want to make better meals for my family and to really enjoy what I do in the kitchen. So for meal planning, every week we're going to concentrate on what is on our top shelf here. This is where I keep all of the binders that I use throughout the year. I have my fall binder, I have 2 Christmas ones, I even have a binder that I use when I plan, you know, big parties and celebrations, and then I have our family book here. But it's these binders on the end that hold the majority of my recipes. In this really large binder here, I have all of our main course recipes that I have collected over the years. This binder holds some of our most family favorite meals. And then in this binder is all desserts. So this will have like all our traditional birthday cakes and bread and cookies and brownies and just everything wonderful and sweet you can find in this binder. And then this last one is my new one. I have been trying to collect all of the recipes that I have shared with you guys on my channel, and it is a work in progress, but I have a bunch of recipes in here of what I have shared and what I do want to share. So this is the one that we are going to be working in today. I want to encourage you guys to make your own recipe binder because, you know, we all come across recipes, you know, somewhere online. Either it's like a Facebook group or Pinterest, and we print them off and we just need a place, you know, to put everything. And that is what this binder is for me. So what I usually do is I divide my binders into groups. Like I have a binder that is just main courses, I have a binder that is just desserts, and this binder is a little bit of everything. So I have divided this into several different categories. I have like appetizer, soup, breakfast, meatless, beef, chicken, sides, and desserts. And for that, I have just used these recipe sleeve dividers that I found on Amazon. I'm going to leave a link to anything that I mentioned in today's video down in the description box down below. These are really great because they have these little tabs here, and they have like an envelope that you can just add your little dividers into. So these are ones that I have just made myself. I will leave a link to these as a free download for you. Now, these are the ones that I chose to make. You guys can add whatever kind of categories that you want. These just seem to be the ones that work out really well for me. So as we gather our recipes together and we start to make our grocery list, I know that we can do this all on our phone, but I am just someone that really likes to have like pen and paper. It just helps me think a little bit more clearer. And I've made myself over the years different meal planners and grocery lists. I have purchased some, you know, online, but in the end, I just like a very simple sheet that will show what I'm going to be making all week and my grocery list. So as you can see on one side of this sheet, I have all the days marked out here, and I like to add my dinners in this section here. And then I have a couple boxes that have breakfast ideas, lunch ideas, and snacks. I really don't plan out lunches because most of the time we are using leftovers from dinner the night before for our lunch options. And for breakfast, you know, we're not big breakfast people in our house. We'll make like, you know, a little egg sandwich or a bowl of cereal, a bowl of oatmeal. So it's really just ideas. So I like to mark down in there if I need oatmeal, what fruits I need, if I need English muffins or whatever I'm going to be making for breakfasts that week. I have a little section down here for snacks because I usually at least bake once every week or every other week, and I like to write down, you know, if somebody has a request. I usually put it in this section here so I can get the ingredients to what I'm going to make. On the other side of this sheet is just for the grocery list, and I've kept it really simple. I haven't divided it into any categories. You know, every grocery store is a little bit different. So I've just added lines here with little boxes that you can check off as you go along. Now this sheet will also be in the description box down below as a free printable for you if this is something that you think will help you as you make your list and do your grocery shopping. So as we plan our meals, what I normally do is From what I know that I have in my refrigerator and freezer, I will pick the meals that I want to make. So I know that I have some ground meat in my freezer that I can thaw out. So in this section, I have a couple recipes here that would utilize what I have in the freezer. For example, I have a recipe here that is for slow cooker Philly cheesesteaks. This is a recipe that I'm going to be sharing in an upcoming video. So what I would do then is just go through all the ingredients and make sure that if I don't have them in the house, that is what I'm going to be adding to my grocery list. And then I will just add recipes and ingredients to my grocery list until my whole week is all planned out. I like to usually leave some space open for leftovers because I love leftover days. Those are my favorite days of the week. And you want to make sure that you don't waste food. And that is a great way to make sure that you are using up what you've made. Use them for lunches, use them for snacks, and then use them for a leftovers night. So there are really definitely weeks that I just do not have the mental capacity to create a meal plan for myself. So what I have done over the years is I have created a monthly meal plan. I have 3 of them in my recipe binder here. So on those weeks that I just can't pull it together, I refer back to these meal plans that I've already created, and I can pick and choose what recipes from here that I want to make. It really does come in handy because I know that all these recipes here are family favorites. I know that everybody likes them, and no matter what I choose, it's going to, make everybody happy at the table. To make one of these monthly meal plan calendars for yourself, just sit down with your family, ask them what their favorite meals are that you make. Try to get a list of, as many as you possibly can, and just fill in the blanks with, easy weeknight meals, some of your favorites, some of the things that you just enjoy making. You can put them in a calendar frame such as this, or just have lists of meals that you know that your family really likes. They just kind of give you some ideas and inspire other recipes to make that week so that you can always, have a rotating menu so you don't get tired making the same meals and your family doesn't get tired of eating the same meals. So once you have all your meals planned out and you have filled out your grocery list, it's time to either head out to the grocery store, or what I like to do is I like to order my groceries online. Most grocery stores these days have their ads online, so it's easier than ever to compare prices and to see which store is your best option. I started ordering my groceries online during the pandemic, and I have pretty much continued ever since. I do head out to the grocery store maybe every other week or so to pick up a few things, but the majority of my groceries I order online. I find that ordering helps me stick to my menu plan, helps me save money from limiting impulse purchases, and saves me a ton of time. In my area, Walmart has the best prices, and in my opinion, I think they have the most consistent grocery pickup. I just sit down at the computer with my grocery list and check off the items as I order them. And should Walmart not have what I'm looking for, I can head out to the grocery store on my way to pick up to find the items I need. So those are my 4 hacks to meal plan like a pro. I hope that this video has given you some ideas on how to just do this whole meal planning and grocery shopping thing a little bit easier. Check the description box down below for those free printable downloads. Now this has been one of my most requested videos, so if you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments section down below. While there, I hope you will join our communities over on Facebook and Instagram at My Bashful Life. And don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to have you all back as part of our growing YouTube family. So until I see you in that next video, I hope that you love the life that you have. Be kind to each other, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.